Welcome one and all to the Cine Geeks podcast, where movies, TV, and all things geek collide. I'm Angela, still joined by my co-host Roy.
Hey everyone, what's up?
And for today's episode, we'll be talking about Alien Romulus, directed by Fede Alvarez, written by Alvarez and Rodos Sayagues, starring Kaylee Spaney and David Johnson.
Yes, but before we continue, we would like to remind everyone who hasn't done so to please follow our pod wherever you listen to podcasts like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Threads, Letterboxd, and X, aka Twitter, so you can join in on the fun. Also visit our website, www.cinegeekspod.com, for the latest in movie and TV news and reviews.
Yes, and in case you have any questions, suggestions, feedback, or violent reactions about what you're gonna hear or what you have heard before, you can shoot it over to our email address, cinegeekspod@gmail.com. And by the way, please join us on our Facebook group called Cinegeeks PHHQ. There we interact with our fellow Cinegeeks, and we hope to see you there.
All right.
So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and talk about our movie for this episode, Alien Romulus.
While scavenging the deep ends of a derelict space station, a group of young space colonizers come face to face with the most terrifying life form in the universe.
Yun.
Okay.
So, after
How many years?
how many years yung last na Alien movie?
Well, needless to say, sobrang historic comeback.
Well, if they made a comeback, we're gonna know mamaya later on. Pero it's been 7 years
7
since
years lang?
Covenant, Alien Covenant. Yun, aka the one where Michael Fassbender plays with himself.
Sounds so wrong.
Hindi talaga mawala sa akin yung scene na parang yung tinuturuan ni Walter, yung isa pang Walter, na mag-flute. They can make it so sexual.
Flute pa talaga eh.
Flute pa talaga. Diyos ko, Maria Jose.
Pero, ayun nga, napakahaba na ng history ng Alien franchise. When did the first movie come out ba?
1979.
O, diba?
Oo.
So, this is parang the third generation na ng fans of Alien. Can we assume that?
Yeah, I think that's, wait,
Or second generation.
let me compute. Wait, 1, 2, 3. Fourth na to actually.
Really?
Kasi yung unang Alien, 1979, Aliens 86, Alien 3, 92, Resurrection 97, Prometheus 2012, Covenant 2017, and then Romulus this year 2024. So, pwede mo siyang i-divide by the first two, the next two, then the next two, and then Romulus. So, fourth generation na to.
Parang Star Trek din pala siya, no?
May
Ang daming iterations, no?
Oo.
Okay, sige. Without any further ado, let's discuss na.
Yes.
Roy, what did you think of Alien Romulus?
This is the best Alien film since Aliens. So the first two. Yung first two, untouchable. Talaga. Two of the greatest sci-fi films of all time. Aliens, one of the greatest action movies of all time. And I'm so happy na they meaning Fede Alvarez and his team, were able to recapture exactly what made the Alien franchise, well, at least the first two, a much beloved sci-fi / action movie franchise. Yung tipong, when we talked about Twisters a few episodes back.
That seems like a lifetime ago, no?
I know, right?
Before Simalaya Pain Festival.
Pero when we were talking about Twisters, I think last month, we didn't really like it as much as we hoped we would. And the biggest reason we had was it made something so convoluted out of a supposedly simple formula. Diba? Na just refreshing everyone's memory for that. Essentially, sa Twisters, ginawa niyang kakampi sa simula yung character ni Cary Elwes dun sa una. Tapos biglang masama pala daw yung character ni Bill Paxton. And then midway, nag-flip sila. Tapos dun sa third act, biglang nagsama sila.
Okay.
Yun, na parang it's too complicated.
Too convoluted.
Yeah. And would you agree na if anyone would attempt to make a legacy sequel to any classic film franchise, do you agree that the best way to go about it is to parang quote-unquote shadow copy the formula of the original IP?
Well, para sa akin, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
Una. Pangalawa, it's yung case kasi ni Twisters. By the way, if you wanna know what I thought of Twisters, just listen to our episode.
Yes,
Malalaman
yes.
nyo na kung anong opinion ko dyan.
Oo.
Pero, just to answer your question, no, yung case ni Twisters, they are following up the first and only movie.
Exactly.
So, they're like soft rebooting it. So, it's a different thing.
Mhm.
Ito naman, parang hindi nga siya, I don't feel like it's connected.
Actually,
but it
ano siya?
captured the same magic. Parang
Sandwich siya between 1 and 2. Yan, sinabi naman nila yan.
Okay.
Yes, oo.
So, this is like Rogue One, ganon.
Exactly. Yes. It's the best comparison to this film.
Pero ayun nga you don't feel quote-unquote alienated. Waku, badum, tsh. Ayan, you don't feel like a newbie when you watch this. Kasi you can just, alam mo yung pakiramdam na kapag bago ka sa isang franchise and you need to know all these characters and all these backstory and all this lore na kailangan mo pa ng briefer sa YouTube. Kailangan mo manood ng ganun. Kasi sobrang illustrious na ng history ng Alien franchise. Ilang movies na yan Pero this time when I watched Alien Romulus, I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember the old Alien films.
Okay.
And I did not have time to rewatch it because of Cinemalaya nga.
Uh-huh.
And watching this na walang refresher, sobrang it feels so original. I don't know how to tell you.
I mean, yeah. Tama naman. That's actually the best possible response one can have to a legacy sequel. It feels fresh. Kasi a few years back, we had Top Gun Maverick. It felt fresh. Kasi it just updated for modern sensibilities. And of course, yung passage of time and may parang mga nangyari in between the movies, story-wise, pero nai-slot in niya so organically yung mga ganong in-between na hindi mo kailangan malaman kasi the movie will get you up to speed. And then, at the same time, feel like you're watching the original Top Gun film. Kasi, yan, I mean, ako kasi itong franchise na to, isa sa mga pinaka talagang favorite ko. I mean, sci-fi-wise.
Yeah.
Yung unang movie, Alien 1979, was essentially a haunted house film in space.
Oo nga
Yun lang siya.
Oo.
Sobrang yung simple. Andun sa kanyang simplicity yung beauty, yung power nung scene niya. And then over the years, syempre Alien again is one of the rare sequels that is better than the first one for very different reasons. Ito naman talagang out and out, bakbakan lang talaga. Walang ano yan. Pero kasi pagdating ng Alien 3 Resurrection, kaya namatay ng sobrang tagal yung Alien franchise kasi for the not sugarcoating.
Okay.
3 and 4 are dog shit talaga.
3 and 4. You mean Prometheus?
Hindi, 3 and 4. Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection.
Okay.
Yun, dog shit. And if I'm not mistaken, Alien 3 was the directorial debut of David Fincher.
Oh, talaga?
And unfortunately, it was the worst experience of his life.
Hindi naman niya kasi parang ano yan
Yun na nga kasi init siya ng studio to parang focus on its quote-unquote own vision of what the Alien franchise is.
Napaka-psycho thriller ni Fincher.
Yun ang eventually...
And sobrang subdued and ano.
Yun na nga yung nakakatawa kasi eventually makikita mo yung filmography niya. Immediately after that, again, he could have given up kasi nga he was treated like crap by the system. Pero immediately after Alien 3, he made one of the best movies ever, 7.
Oo nga, no?
Tapos, finalo up niya
What a comeback.
The game, exactly, the game. Tapos, of course, Fight Club.
Oh my God.
Diba? Parang, kung sinagalang nila si Fincher and his vision, he was perfect for the franchise dapat. Pero, again, studio meddling.
If they wanted a more parang introspective approach, diba?
Yes, tama. Ngayon, naging dormant siya until 2012 nung bumalik si Ridley Scott to parang rescue the franchise he helped start with Prometheus. Now, it's divisive. Sige, fine. And so was Covenant. Now we get to Romulus. And going back, the simplicity of what makes Romulus so good, in my opinion, is it doesn't ape directly yung parang beat by beat, shot for shot na recreation ng Alien 1.
Okay. Parang Top Gun.
Hindi, parang Top Gun siya na hindi siya shot for shot or beat by beat recreation. It tried to do something new. Pero within the formula. Yon.
It didn't go overboard. Kumbaga, no?
It didn't try to do its own thing.
Or overindulge.
Yun din pa. It knows that it's part of this sandbox with rules and totems and canon.
Established
canon. And sobrang there's a video that we posted recently talking about Fede Alvarez. Na
you talking about Fede Alvarez.
Na we touched upon yung mga movies na he directed, which is yung una was the remake of The Evil Dead, and then Don't Breathe, tapos yung The Girl in the Spider's Web. He knows how to, dun pa lang sa unang yung Evil Dead, yung 2013.
Yeah.
He knows how to make a franchise his own while still respecting what came before.
Oo nga.
Din yung isa sa strengths ni Fede Alvarez.
Yes, I
diba?
agree.
Na yung unang Evil Dead was horror, 80s horror, campy. Pero meron pa rin nung Sam Raimi gore and shock value. So para siyang enjoy. Kumbaga may kakatulad ko siya, para siyang Marita. Ganon. It's a fun time that you watch with friends.
Okay.
It's not a horror film that challenges you.
Parang Scream, gano'n.
Parang Scream, parang gano'n. Ang ginawa niya sa Evil Dead, ginawa niyang parang Long Legs.
Dark talaga, no? And macabre.
Oo.
Diba? Classic yun, no?
I mean, hindi ko makakalimutan yun. Grabe. Yung bago pa lang tayo nun. Tapos, sinabi ko, tara, panoorin natin na challenge pa. Parang challenge sa'yo nun. Panoorin natin dun sa yung before, sa bahay. Tapos hindi pa ako nanonood ng horror nun,
Ikaw pa yung nag-iaya. Doon pa lang punchline na
pero 'di ba, yun na nga sobrang galing niya. Kasi even more than 10 years after, tumatatak pa rin siya na parang, shucks. Oo nga, no? Parang, Evil Dead din siya. Pero it did its own thing. Na there are two good Evil Dead movies you can think of. Yung una ni Sam Raimi, tapos yung kay Fede. And this does what, the Alien Romulus does what Fede did for the Evil Dead franchise.
So master talaga siya ng an homage na does not go overboard. It's a proper tribute to the classic.
Yes, while doing his own thing.
But still making it his own.
Ikaw, tanungin kita kasi ikaw yung mas horror connoisseur sa ating dalawa. Alam ko matagal mo na hindi napapanood yung Alien 1.
Yeah.
Pero yun na nga, I mean, everyone knows na it's like a haunted house film in space.
I have vignettes in my mind na natatandaan ko pa kasi nga ganun siya ka-impactful ganun siya ka-classic.
Yes. So how does this compare to the classic thrills and chills of the first one? Kumbaga.
I like how simple it is. Na parang you're just entering this world again for the first time. Yun yung pakiramdam kasi like ako, I remember the first Alien, but all those movies that came after, I don't remember anymore kasi ang dami naman na. That intimidates you.
Yeah,
especially people na mga Gen Z and mga mas bata pa na talagang walang idea. But this movie really gives you the first time experience of the alien world, the alien universe. You don't have to know anything prior to this movie. And at the same time, alam mo may mga Easter eggs kasi I hear people reacting to some things na nag-appear on screen or music, ganon. So parang it piques my interest. Pero not to the point na parang aayaw ako kasi ano ba yan, ang dami ng ika-catch up, ganon. And yun, coming from Alien 1 and then to here, parang I feel like I just slotted back in perfectly. I did not feel like parang antagal ko nang wala dito sa universe na to. Parang this is a proper reboot if it's or parang no, it's not a reboot pala, 'di ba? Pero
actually a sequel.
It's a sequel prequel. Basta dun siya sa gitna.
Ayun, ito. According to Wikipedia, it's an interquel. Sure. Why not? Tama naman. Kung nasa gitna siya ng mga existing films, so di tama, interquel siya. Oh my God. Ang tanda na natin, di na natin alam itong mga terms na to. Oh no.
Okay, interquel. Okay,
sige.
sorry. Yeah, they really think of terms for everything, no?
No.
Pero yeah, ayun nga, I think that answers your question. Pero ikaw naman, I wanna throw it back to you.
Yeah.
As a student, kumbaga, as a continuing student of horror.
Okay.
Nandun ka pa sa continuing studies.
Hindi pa ako graduate.
how did you find the horror in this film?
Ay, Diyos ko Mariosep, sobrang saya nitong scene na to. Panoorin with a crowd. Ang saya niya panoorin in IMAX, the biggest screen possible. Because there are, no spoilers, there are a lot of scares na sobrang effective with that big sound system and that bigger screen. Ay, Diyos ko Mariosep. Merong isa dito sobrang memorable. Sabi mo nga sa akin na parang, hindi ko nga na realize na kung ano yung ginagawa ko nung after na sa sobrang yung parang talagang nagulat ako, natakot ako. Pero parang sinabi mo sa akin after,
Nagba-backflip ka sa upuan mo.
nag-backflip ako sa upuan ko dahil dun sa isang sobrang, ako I hate jump scares.
Yeah.
Pero I am one to willingly admit when one got to me and talagang sabihin kong I loved it. And there is one na talagang chef's kiss, ibang klase.
Diba? It's a thrill ride kaya.
Ang ganda.
Yung mga ganun. Pero how about the characters?
Ah.
Ikaw lalo ka na, you're very familiar with the lore.
Yes.
How do you find these new characters dito sa Alien Romulus?
Well, I mean, ang focus lang naman natin is si Kaylee Spaney tsaka si David Johnson, who Kaylee plays Rain and David plays Andy. So sa trailer pa lang ito, non-spoiler na to, sinabi na magkapatid sila. And they want to get out of this parang colony that they're in. Now, dun pa lang, makikita mo na parang may obvious na, ayoko sabing homage eh. Parang may obvious nang tinatry gawin yung scene na maging parang spiritual successor, kumbaga, ni Sigourney Weaver.
Ni Ripley.
Itong si Rain. And I'm happy to say na she doesn't just, ayoko sabing copy, or ape, ano ba pwede mas magandang term doon? Na parang na-embody niya yung spirit ni Ripley. Pero at the same time, she is able to make Rain a true character na may deserve na lugar dito sa Alien franchise. Yan. And kay Andy naman, the less said about him, the better.
Yeah.
Pero I would say na actually, maliban dun sa parang siya yung kapatid ni Rain, ano din ako na para siyang yung, yung kapalit nung pusa ni Ripley sa unang Alien.
Yeah, leave it at that.
Oo. So parang siyang may ganung element dun sa kanyang character na parang siya si tama pangalan nga na itong pusa na to? Si Jones. Yan.
Pero, yun nga, you correlated the Rain's character to Ripley. Pero yung characterization niya, yung actions niya, does it feel parang, kasi ito din yung naging problema natin sa Twisters eh. Yung lead character na parang embodying Helen Hunt.
Didn't embody her at all.
Oo. So, they did the same thing. You can say that. Pero, how does it differ sa'yo? Why was she able to do it more effectively?
Ito. It's the writing. Kasi, and also the acting. I mean, we've said what we have to say about Twisters, especially yung acting nung bida doon. And Kaylee Spaney is, and will continue to be, a young actress to watch. I mean, recently lang this year is Civil War.
Yes.
She held her own against Kirsten Dunst and Wagner Moura.
Yeah.
And that's not an easy task.
Yeah.
Dito, nadala niya yung weight nung sine. And again, she could have been a cheap Ripley knockoff. And unfortunately, as much as I love Prometheus, and I do with all my heart, medyo parang cheap replacement ni Sigourney Weaver yung character ni ni Noomi Rapace. Ito, parang she both felt new and familiar. Yan, those are the terms I'd use.
Yeah.
Yan, she felt new and familiar.
Ang ganda nung mga words na pinili mo. I agree. And add to that, itong si Kaylee Spaney, parang hilig niya sa mga characters na yung nagpupunta yung sumasama sa mga impossible missions.
Oo.
Parang ganun din yung kwento niya sa Civil War no?
Ito talaga, alam mo yung parang no choice na siya. Talagang sasali siya tapos hindi niya alam kung mabubuhay ba siya o hindi.
Meron siyang ganung grit eh.
Pwede mo ding, wait lang, ano ko lang kasi ito, alam ko hindi natin hindi natin napanood. Na-skip ata natin siya. Yun, same. Yung Priscilla, ganun din. Hindi niya alam kung mabubuhay ba siya o hindi. Kung sasama siya kay Elvis Presley. So, mahilig talaga siya sa mga ganung klaseng character.
Tama.
Anyway.
Yung sobrang conflicted, no?
Oo.
and caught between
Life and death, literally.
oo.
And we're going to see her next year doon sa third movie in the Knives Out trilogy, yung Wake Up Dead Man. So, yan, exciting siya.
Oo.
Talaga panoorin yung trajectory ng career niya.
Para siyang si Anya Taylor-Joy nung umpisa. Very character actress
Yes.
muna, and then nag-carry na siya ng mga
sarili niyang mga
her as lead.
projects. Tama.
Alam mo ba, she reminds me of young Linda Hamilton.
Pwede. Oh, actually, please do not throw that out to the universe.
Ha?
Kaya baka mamaya biglang makaisip na naman si James Cameron na i-reboot na naman for the nth time ang Terminator.
Pang ilang generation na yan.
Diyos ko. Ewan ko.
Till you're 90.
Kaya, ginawa na nga nilang kalaban si John Connor.
Oo nga. Ano ba?
Diyos ko, Maria Joseph.
Okay. We're getting way out of our conversation.
Pero yun na nga actually, ang gandang ang gandang comparison nun. Kasi where Terminator fails over and over and over again since, I'd argue, the third film. Kasi yun na yung last parang acceptable. Sige, fine. Or siguro dahil lang bata lang talaga tayo nun. And nostalgia lang siya.
Okay.
We see it through rose-colored lenses. Pero what Terminator Dark Fate tried to do, Romulus was able to successfully accomplish. Kasi yung sa Dark Fate, essentially, ang ginawa niya, parang Terminator 1 lang ulit. Pero, yung Terminator 1, kasi yung Michael Biehn character, yung si John Connor, pinag-split nila into two.
Linahili.
Sarah Connor. Yun.
Si Sarah Connor.
Si Sarah Connor, yung character ni Michael Biehn sa una, si John Connor, pinaghiwalay nila sa Dark Fate, both yung si Terminator, yung T-1000, or whatever na, tsaka si Sarah Connor, pinotektahan nila yung bago.
Okay.
Yung Mexican na babae.
Pero,
yun naman, talagang sinunod lang niya yung Terminator 1 to a T. Wala siyang ginawang bago. Walang signature na nilagay yung director ng sining yun. Di katulad dito sa Romulus na talagang kita mo dun sa screen, sobrang laki yung fingerprints ni Fede Alvarez. Yun.
I wouldn't call them fingerprints.
Isang buong parang hand painting. Boom, isang ganun bigla. Kasi and I said this in the video that I made, na he talks about themes of trauma, survival, and the darkness in ordinary people.
Yeah.
Yung kay Romulus, sobrang peppered niya in every character we see on screen. Even yung mga alien fodder, for the lack of a better term. Doon sa una kasi, talagang nakafocus lang tayo kay Sigourney. Kasi yung iba, medyo forgettable sila eh.
Super minor characters.
Yung tawag doon, parang tropes ba? Kumbaga.
Parang plot device lang.
Yun, parang plot device lang sila. Etong mga to, yung kasama nila, just throwing a bone to their other castmates, including si Isabella Merced, who thankfully manages to recover from Madam Web.
Let's not talk about that.
Yun, na meron silang, thanks to the writing of Alvarez and yung kanyang co-writer na si Rodo Sayagues, na nabigyan nila in few minutes of screen time yung bawat isa, na alam mong may pinaglalaban sila kaya nila ginawa tong mission na to Meron silang gustong ma-achieve in life Hindi lang siya yung parang, ito yung mga iisa-isahin ng mga serial killer. Hindi siya ganun
Alam mo nga, it's funny you point that out kasi yung characters nito, yung group of characters that Fede and Rodo wrote, para siyang yung classic format or classic template ng slasher films na characters. So, yung ganon, yung parang, yung mga pinoint out nila sa Cabin in the Woods.
Oo.
Parang ganon. So, I leave it at that.
Yes.
Pero yun yung kinaganda kasi sobrang niyang captured yung pinaka-formula talaga ng horror.
At saka hindi lang yon, pati dun sa fact na they can be tropey, these characters, pero they are tropes with dimension.
Yun. Kaya hindi sila boring.
Exactly. Yun. Kaya when shit starts hitting the fan, it's both equally heartbreaking and exciting. Kasi parang okay, you spent a bit of time with these people and you know who's gonna go first and you know the order, nakikita mo na. Pero parang there's part of you na parang
you get invested.
Hindi sila yung parang sige, doon na tayo kay Kaylee Spaney, wala na tayo dito.
They were made to be real, relatable human beings.
Yes.
Hindi sila plot devices lang.
Tama.
Anyways, I'd like to ask you about naman dun sa visual effects.
Aha.
Kasi we read an article na all the visual effects that you see on screen, as much as they can, puro mga practical effects yun.
Green screen.
Oo.
I mean, usually that's PR bullshit. Na parang sabihin nila na parang, you know what? There's as little CGI in this as possible. Actually, yun. Sobrang ganda nung choice of words na ginamit nila doon. Kasi usually sasabihin na parang, you know what? We didn't go CGI here. Who are you?
Mad Max, Fury Road.
Who are you? Who are you? Parang, sino niloloko nyo? Yun. Ang ganda na sinabi na, as much as possible, Fedi wanted to use as little green screen as possible.
That's the safest.
Yun yung tamang term dun eh. Kasi of course, hindi mo maiiwasan na hindi mag-CGI.
We're not in space.
Were we in space? Yun na nga eh. Parang, can we shoot in space? Of course not. Pero, yung mga alien, parang for the first time since, I guess, the second, they felt so tangible. They felt so real. Yung mga face huggers, alam mo yung, eventually kasi dumating na yung punto na parang sobrang na yung CGI na parang may kono nung extra movements na yung ginagawa yung face huggers dun sa Covenant at saka sa Prometheus. Pero dito, kita mo siya na parang, alam mo yung parang siyang puppet na may finite na galaw lang yung face hugger na hindi gaganon-ganon yung galamay niya, hindi mag-wiggle-wiggle. Parang siyang up and down lang na may obvious na puppet-ish quality siya.
Which actually doon ako na
diba?
nag-creepy crawl
diba?
na
Yun, kasi,
parang ganun kasi yung insect eh.
Exactly.
Wala namang extra movements.
Hindi siya yung parang biglang magigiling-giling yung face hugger na
parang nababawasan yung takot mo kapag alam mong it's not real.
Ayun. Ang problema kasi, pag ginawa masyadong CGI yung mga monsters, nawawala yung otherworldly quality ng monster. Kasi kapag practical siyang ginawa, yung limitation ng galaw ng mga puppets ng monsters can be parang added to their lore. Na parang ganun lang yung galaw nila. And again, that's what adds otherworldly qualities to these things. Kaya ang ganda na parang yung ganun lang kasimple. Yung mga bagay. Talagang in-honor ni Fedi at saka ni Royo yung ginawa ni Ridley Scott tsaka ni Dan O'Bannon years ago.
Grabe, no? Yung texture ng mga nakikita mo sa screen, parang nararamdaman mo siya.
Talaga.
Parang dun talaga ako sobrang
Tumataas yung balahibo.
sobrang achy talaga ng feeling.
Story-wise, again, it goes into places. Yun ang nakakatawa eh. It's both new and familiar. It goes into places that you expect a good alien movie should go to. Pero Fedi and Royo have tricks up their sleeve na hindi namin sasabihin dito. As the movie goes along, it just gets more and more and more crazier. Talaga, yun lang yung sasabihin namin.
Tsaka yung sound din. Sound and yung cinematography niya was chef's kiss talaga. Parang you'll know it when you see it. So please see it on IMAX.
Talaga. I mean, we know na there are movies na parang, basta sabihin na, please see it in IMAX. Parang, talaga ba? Pero ito, yung cinematography ni Galo Olivares, ay God.
Alam mo yung feeling na you want to look away but you can't. Ganon.
Yun ang gusto kong horror film. Yung tipong pag nanonood ako, hindi ako makatingin paalis kasi gusto kong transfixed yung mata ko kahit alam kong gugulatin
kahit
na ako.
Tumatayo na lahat ng balahibo mo sa nakikita mo but you still can't look away. Yun, ganun.
Yan. I mean, I guess let's stop it at that kasi baka may masabi pa tayong spoiler. Kasi sobrang talaga nagustuhan namin to.
Yes.
And we know that you will like it too. Yeah. And what rating are we gonna give this?
So for Alien Romulus, we're gonna give it the rating of A.
Yes, solid
Woo!
A. A much deserved A. Sorry, may dagdag ko lang. Couple of things. Bilang nerd of the Alien franchise, natutuwa ako na ang daming, yun din, hindi niya kinalimutan yung mga true fans. Na may mga Easter eggs siyang nilagay doon. No? Katulad ng isang, sorry I just want to say this even if this is parang a minor spoiler. Pero nag-uusap sila originally about the mission to go to the Romulus space station. Yung isa sa parang yung canon father. Sorry. Sinabi nila na parang, ano nangyari dyan? Parang, nadali siya ng mga colonial marines. Parang,
Kinilig. Kinilig yung tumbong mo.
Okay. Oo, parang, uy, I know that. Yung meme ni DiCaprio.
I know that reference.
Tsaka yung isa pa nung spoiler na.
Wag na.
Spoiler na to. Wag na. Spoiler
Pero,
na isa.
ito pala, we're gonna announce today the winners of our ticket giveaway.
Yes, so watch out. This comes out Friday morning. So, August 16, when this episode comes out, the night of the 16th, we're going to post a video on our Instagram stories as well as sa TikTok yung raffle draw nung nanalo ng promo for the pair of tickets to see Alien Romulus for free. Yan. So 3 winners, 2 tickets each. Best of luck to you all. Yeah.
Okay. And thank you very much to everyone who joined our promo. And
Yes.
marami pang susunod yan.
Oo, talaga. Simula pa lang yan.
Yeah.
All right. So that's it for our episode talking about Alien Romulus. If you have seen the film, please share with us what you thought about it. Comment it on our social media accounts or down below on our Spotify episode page.
And of course, don't forget to set your players to automatically download our new episodes so you don't miss out on our fun Cinegeek conversations. And while you're at it, give us a 5-star rating on Spotify and Apple Podcasts if you had fun or learned something new during this episode.
Yes, and we also want to thank 20th Century Studios and Disney Studios Philippines for inviting us to the Philippine red carpet premiere of Alien Romulus. But as always, the studio and distributors of the film weren't given any creative control or editorial approval of this episode. They are hearing our review for the first time, same as you are.
For my co-host Troy, this has been Angela. Thank you for listening to the Cinegeeks podcast, where movies, TV, and all things geek collide.